Yeah, we welcome you to this third session on the history of communist movement in Karnataka, organized by Marxist Studies Group. This session is third in the series of lectures that we have planned on covering the important aspects, the important historical aspects in the evolution of communist movement in Karnataka. The previous two sessions were also taken by Comrade Dr. Prakash. Comrade Prakash is the State Secretariat member of Communist Party of India Marxist and also holds a doctorate in the history of the movement, communist movement in Karnataka. We welcome Comrade Prakash to this session. The format of the program will be as follows. Comrade Prakash would speak about for 1 to 1 hour 15 minutes, followed by a discussion for about 30 minutes or so. We'll try to wind up everything by 7:30. By 7:30, so we'll keep the time frame like that. So welcome again, everyone, and I hand over the mic to Comrade Prakash. Over to you, Comrade.
Okay, thank you, comrades. We shall today this session and the next session, we shall try to wind it up the post-independent periods history of the communist movement in Karnataka. Today I shall place some of the issues partially. So in the next session, I think I can finish it off. Okay, anyhow, thank you once again. As you all know, on 15th August 1947, India was handed over the power by the British as the final legacy of the patriotic story of the new vision of the people of India. It was the solidifying moment of the aspirations of freedom, equality, and democracy. It was portrayed as the liberty for the upliftment of every Indian, an equal society with no difference and discrimination between the rich and the poor, and the democracy where each individual to be valued and treated as equal. Active in the national liberation struggle for such ideals, the CPI faced a severe crisis over its future programmatic vision. The CPI was faced with difficulty of proving itself a revolutionary party and deciding its stage of revolution, the nature of the revolution, and the strategy of achieving that revolution based on the specific conditions of Indian society. These discussions were present even the pre-independence period also. Following the Mountbatten Award, the CPI estimated that the independence gained by India was the power transferred by the British to their agents in India. Communist Party opined whether it actually meant freedom or not. At the same time, thousands of communists were killed by the Nehru government in agreement with the Telangana Nizam's administration in the name of police operation. This created a deep dissatisfaction among the communists against Nehru government. An All India railway strike was also organized in 1949. In such an environment, the second Congress of the CPI took place in Calcutta in February 1948. And the stance that the armed revolution is the only possible way to alleviate poverty and inequality in the country was taken. Communists led the farmer and labor movements were also going on fiercely at that time. There were also movements in princely states. The crisis within the party had become a problem in the organizational system as a result of the CPI's Calcutta Congress, which had overestimated these struggles and underestimated the ability of the Congress. In 1951, CPI's delegation met Stalin and discussed. The 1951 statement of policy was decided that India should have its own way of achieving the revolution. Yet in the following years, the question about the Russian model or the question about the stage of the revolution, the path of the revolution, whether to be based on Chinese model or Russian model, came to the fore in the CPI's internal discussions. In this way, the two distant arguments set a barrier to the opportunities for the growth and expansion of the CPI at the national level. This affected all the communist units at the provincial and state level. Against this backdrop, communist movement in post-independent India grew, crossing the thresholds. The Communist Party in Karnataka, though limited in its scope, was formed almost 2 decades after the inception of the CPA at the All India level. It had an organizational network limited to a few centers in different regions. In first general election, CPA stood second largest party after Congress in the country had created excitement in the state. The way and intensity that ideological debates within the Central Committee of the CPA took place did not happen in Karnataka. But the early stage of the post-independence Karnataka Communist Party can be seen as a rise of vigorous activities and struggles. The Congress was worried about the militancy of the struggles led by Communist Party and its organizations. And in the wake of the Telangana armed peasant struggle, Nehru government banned Communist Party. Due to this, many leaders went underground and many were arrested and jailed. During this time, the state unit of the Communist Party, under the leadership of Anil Upadhyaya, set up an underground organization in Bangalore. A secret organization in Hubballi was also set up for Janashakti newspaper. Shantaram Pai was assigned to connect different centers in the state. By then, the provincial organizational committee was formed in the state. The CPI, which was banned in 1948, came out of it in 1951. The organizational conditions were weak. In the late 1951, a 2-day conference was held in the outskirts of Bangalore to reorganize the party. S.V. Ghate had come from Central Committee. I had mentioned in the last session that S.V. Ghate, hailed from Bangalore, was the one of the general secretaries of the CPI, which formed in 1925. So S.V. Ghate had come from Central Committee. The Karnataka Provincial Council was dissolved at the convention, and the Provincial Organizational Committee was formed temporarily. The objective was to reform the district level organization, to hold conventions, conferences, and to form new committees. C.B. Monnaya was the secretary to this ad hoc committee. Following the ban, the CPA Central Committee prepared a draft of the program and launched a nationwide debate within the party. In Karnataka, a state level conference was organized at the Ullala in Bangalore in 1951 to discuss and express their views. This conference also helped to revive the party in the state, which was decimated by the underground life and oppression, especially the problems due to the disturbances in the Telangana struggle and the confrontations regarding the path of India's revolution and the attacks and oppression faced by the Communist Party in the wake of the ban. The Telangana agitation, which was the main cause of the Communist Party's ban in the country, did not have much effect on the Mysore state. It did not have much effect even in the regions of Karnataka, which belonged to Hyderabad province then. Srinivas Gudi of Gulbarga had experience in the Telangana armed struggle. He came to the stand to intensify the activities of the mass organization and the party in the state based on the discussions and conclusions of the Ullala State Conference. The pre-independence struggles in the Dakshin Kannada district continued even after independence. The Hindu-Muslim problem that accompanied the partition of the country was not intense in South India as in the North India. The Dakshin Kannada district had maintained peace even during these insane days of communal hatredness. In the event of minor incidents, the Communist Party intervened and worked towards explaining the importance of religious tolerance. Such attempts of communists were condemned as non-believing in God, non-believing in religion by the Hindu and Muslim fanatics who intertwined religion with politics. The growth of the Muslim League in Malabar also had an impact on the Dakshin Kannada district and resulted in disturbing the unity of the workers. Most of the port workers, mud and ferry workers who were united and organized under the red flag were gradually separated under the influence of the League. On January 30, 1948, when the news of the assassination of Gandhi by the RSS-inspired man was spread across Bangalore, there were distorted demonstrations of celebrations through fireworks. In this regard, there were conflicts between communists and Hindu fundamentalists in several areas. The CPI actively participated in the struggle for the merger of Mysore and to establish a responsible government in the background of demand of merger of princely states into the Union of India. Many teams were sent to Mysore from Dakshina Kannada district. Among them, Shivashankar Rao, Sankappa, Dasa Sherigara were jailed in Bhadravati. A significant event took place during the underground activity in Mangalore. In 1948, the police arrested S.N. Holla, who was part of communist leaders working underground and was staying in the houses of workers in the Jappu Bajal area in Mangalore. He was taken by a train to the Kannanur jail under the Defense of India rules. As this train about to reach Manjeshwaram, some young men rushed towards the compartment, took Mr. Holla and escaped by jumping out of the train. Once this news spread across, the communists faced certain attacks. M.H. Krishnappa's role was prominent in such an operation. The Communist Party was organized in Dakshina Kannada in 1950s in the wake of the underground activities. After the 1952 elections, expanding the Communist Party in Kolar district had begun. Savaridas, Advocate Baira Reddy, M. Ratnam, Meshak, along with R. Venkatramaya, D. Narayana, S. Lakshmiya from Chikballapur, Muniswami Gowda, T.K. Gangireddy from Chintamani, and Appuswami Reddy from Bagepalli. He later became the first MLA of Bagepalli in 1983 from the CPIM, and others were attracted towards Communist Party. In this background, Kolar's district committee was formed in 1952. R. Venkatramaya became its first secretary. As a result of the CPI ban in all parts of the country, many communists were arrested and jailed, and the directions of the then Chief Minister of Mysore, K.C. Reddy, after a visit to KGF, around 70 prominent communist leaders were arrested on April 3rd. They were released and deported in 1949. All of them lost their jobs. Seeking the support of the government, congressmen and socialists tried to bring trade unions under their control. The anti-communist policy of the Mysore government intensified. In order to protect the leaders, V.M. Govindan, K.S. Vasan, and S.R. Vittal Rao filed habeas corpus in the High Court. The applications of Govindan and Vasan were rewarded with High Court. The Mysore government's anti-communist stance was so clear that the Mysore government stated that it wanted to develop the INTUC, the labor union of the Congress, instead of the communist unions. The Mysore government stated, I quote, INTUC should organize mine workers in order to confront the communist and left-wing influence and communalism among gold mine workers. Mysore, it's not communalism, it is left-wing influence and communism among gold mine workers. Mysore is a Congress government, and it is right that INTUC should take the responsibility of workers in the state, unquote. Dean Hutchinson, US Secretary of Foreign Affairs, observed that in the wake of the serious food shortages nationwide, the intervention of the Communist Party against it and this communist being elected in huge numbers in elections in India. And he stated, worryingly, I quote, communists have been elected in good numbers in recent elections. If India becomes a communist nation, it is danger to the whole of Asia. So for this reason, in the next 4 years, we should provide 70 lakh tons of food grains, unquote. Bhadravati was the initial center of communist movement in the Shivamogga district. During 1940s, N.D. Shankar played a prominent role. After independence, Chandu Putti was carrying on the activities of Communist Party. In later days, Appanna Hegde and K.M. Srinivas, identifying Communist Party, built the peasant movement. Then later G.S. Nagaraj, who was the leader of Students' Union of Sahyadri College, Shivamogga, entered Communist Party as a volunteer. Aman Bhatt, who had a printing press in Tirthalli, worked in Communist Party by supporting the struggles of tenant farmers. Sheikh Muhammad and his brother Muhammad Saab were active in organizing BD workers and unorganized workers in that place. Then there were Communist Party's organizations in all taluks of Shivamogga district. Shamachara Durvaspur, Muhammad Saab, Ranjit Kate, Surali Subbaya, and many others worked towards building Communist Party. Muhammad Dastagir was one of the earliest communists of Tumukur. As a boy selling tea at a tea shop in Bombay, came into contact with the communists in Bombay. On their advice, he came back to Kunigal and got in touch with V.K. Krishnaswamy, K.V. Krishnaswamy, and laid the foundations of the Communist Party in Tumkur district. In the first place, he organized Kunikal stud farm workers. Around 110 workers became permanent. He organized municipal workers, and with their support, he won as a member of municipality of Kunigal. There was a practice that municipal workers were used to stand in queue to get their wages. They had a struggle demanding that they must be given a chair to sit while getting the wages, and that they have won. He made them permanent. Since Dastagir was a tailor, he came into contact with many farmers. He used this affinity to build farmer organization, Kisan organization. Through this, it was possible to bring Communist Party to the villages. Shivshankar Rao was sent from Bangalore to Davanagere to help growing workers' organization. In the last session, I already discussed about the importance of Davanagere as a textile center. Davanagere was used to be called the Manchester of Karnataka. So it was a most prominent textile workers center. So in such a vacuum, so Shivshankar Rao was sent from Bangalore to Davanagere to build the workers' movement. He was arrested for participating in the cotton mill workers' strike. In 1947-49, Murugayya and Shivshankar Rao were attacked in the name of cotton mill workers meeting in the Avargere village. Shivshankar Rao's teeth were broken in the attack. The mill owners had maintained goons only to carry out attacks on the communists. Kakilaya was also arrested and detained during the struggle of Davanagere workers. Several labor leaders like Pampapati, Suresh, Shekharappa, H.K. Ramchandrappa, Anugod Ramchandrappa, Tippeswamy, and others were influenced and rose as leaders due to the work and efforts of Simpsons, MC Narasimhan, and others. The influence of Marxism in pre-independence Mysore was on students and professors of Maharaja College. Kunigal Sridhar, brother of Kunigal Srinivas Murthy, B.S. Keshavan, a professor, and others were in this group. There was a considerable influence in the academia and on the other sections as well. For the first 3 years, 48 to 51, Rajshekhar, N.P. Shankar Narayan Rao, Devarajas, and others were jailed. The workers' organization was under the control of INTs. After the release from the prison, Ugrappa continued his activities among municipal workers of Mysore. Along with him, Somsundar Sharma, Belliyappa, C.K. Mohan was a Malayali, came from Kerala and working as a BD worker in Mysore. Timmegoda, Puttaswamy, and others became active members of the Communist Party. With all their efforts, the labor organizations like Silk Workers Union, Hotel Workers Union, Lorry Workers Union, and other divisions also started. After the CPA state conference in Ullala in Bangalore, C.V. Monnaya returned and became CPA's Kodugu district secretary. B.N. Kuttappa, Y.T. Ayyappa, Dr. Nanjundeshwara, B.N. Venkatramana, Y.T. Ganapati, Vanchira Kaverappa, Dr. Ayyar Assaranna, K.B. Nanaya, and others were the early communists of Kodugu who organized struggles in pre- and post-independent periods. So this is all a small level planters, actually, basically Kodavas. Most of them were Kodavas. The early communist leaders of Kodugu district were Kodavas, and they were also planters. This composition has now completely changed in Kodugu district. Okay, that is the other thing. And 3,000-4,000 people had gathered in the CPI Open Assembly organized in 1963 in medical. is only after independence. Ramdas Golikere established
Comrade Prakash, there are some disturbances, it seems.
at the CPA conference held in Ullala in Mangalore. In 1948, the Belgaum City Committee of the CPI was formed. Krishna Menese, Ramdas Golikere, B.N. Darwadkar, Shantaram Naik, Gaonkar joined as its members. Some of the communists who were deported from Karwar jail, joined the communists in Khanapura and Belagavi at the same time. It was then that the party and the movement were able to spread to the entire district. A communist activist, B.L. Patil, was murdered for organizing farmers in Raigar Taluk. It was a political murder that did not tolerate the growth of the Communist Party. The extent of these organizations were such that it even had an organization of the prostitutes. Such a growing Communist Party involved itself in the liberation movement of Goa between 1952 and 55. In this period, all the other activities of the Communist Party had taken a backseat. During the same period, there was a linguistic state formation struggle and the unification of Mysore state in 1956. Along with it, Maharashtra-Karnataka border dispute had also begun. This hampered the growth of the Communist Party in Belgaum district. The government went on to arrest N.K. Upadhyaya and Bal Singh Master as everywhere else in Bijapur. Bal Singh sneaked into Mysore and stayed under the auspices of BD organization. Upadhyaya hid in Bijapur itself. He was arrested by the police and the guise of a shepherd and kept in Eravada jail. Municipal workers had planned to escape the jail, but it had failed. After getting out of jail, Powerloom Workers Union was started in 1956. Tendulkar Cement Factory, Bagalkote's contract and Hamali workers' struggle intensified and resulted in Cement Company Workers Union. As a result, the communist organization grew in the districts of Gulbarga, Bijapur, and Dharwad. Ginni, Slate, Handloom, Municipality Workers Union also came up in these districts. The Krishna uprising, the Krishna River farmers uprising of the northern Karnataka districts during this period was significant. The CPI had expressed its views on the irrigation projects of the Krishna Kaveri rivers even before unification. Since the publication of the Gulati Commission report on Krishna River's water, the Communist Party has been intervening for the Karnataka's share of water and for the implementation of the Upper Krishna Canal project. At this juncture, Nijalingappa was elected as chief minister who belonged to that region. Well, these problems were still the demands in Karnataka. The Sri Shailam project had begun with the completion of Nagarjuna Sagar irrigation project in Andhra Pradesh. The Koina project had started in Maharashtra. In such a case, Bijapur's Communist Party gave a deadline of a month to the government and warned that if the irrigation project at Alamatti would not start with the completion of construction of dam in Krishna River by May 1st, 1964, they shall sit for hunger strike. At the same time, N.K. Upadhyaya, as a member of Bijapur Municipal Council, became the president of Waterworks Committee. Using it, the remaining party members were gathered and sent a resolution of hunger strike to the government. Likewise, as the hunger strike started, each day students, other organizations, workers of different sections, etc., one by one participated in this. This had an impact on the entire district. After 22 days of satyagraha, the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi sent a telegram to Upadhyaya assuring to send Dr. K.L. Rao, the central irrigation minister. After a few days, K.L. Rao visited Alamatti Dam and examined. Later, Indira Gandhi came and laid the foundation stone. This struggle waged by the Communist Party under the leadership of Upadhyaya is the key to the launching of Alamatti project. However, Upadhyaya's woe was that if the Communist Party, which initiated the movement, had played a role of united front, it would have changed the nature of Bijapur, Gulbarga, and Raichur itself. Others also were benefited from the Krishna Upper Canal project. The Communist Party, which started this struggle, did not grow politically. The next part I shall discuss is the role of the communists in the Karnataka unification. It's been more than 2000 years Kannada language was born. But the cry for unification of all Kannada-speaking people should be ruled under one administration took birth only in 20th century. Prior to this, there was no demand for Kannada Nadu to be a united state or that Kannadigas to be brought under one administration. This slogan was born during the particular time of socio-economic political development of the Indian society. The reorganization of the states and the formation of the states on the basis of language thus have emerged as a great and important democratic development of post-independence India. Such growth in the states and in the country did not occur by itself. While Karnataka was still in the vanguard of the feudal system, a small voice demanding that the Kannada-speaking people should be under one political administration was in accordance with the needs of capitalism, born out of connection with British era, grew gradually, progress in education, literary renaissance grew one after the other, one becoming reason for the other, resulted finally in the demand for unification of Karnataka. The Communist Party of India had been advocating the formation of a linguistic province since pre-independence. Its state conference held in Undala in 1951 decided to organize the movement for unification of Karnataka. The Communist Party published a booklet, Let One Karnataka Be Created, written by S.R. Bhatt. In relation to certain areas to be merged with Karnataka, the Communist Party's Rajya Sabha member, B.V. Kakilaya, he is the only member who got elected to Rajya Sabha, this B.V. Kakilaya, of course not from Karnataka. Then Mangaluru was part of Madras province. So in Madras province, the second biggest party was Communist Party. So from Madras province, since he was from Mangalore, which belonged to Madras province, he was made Rajya Sabha member from the Madras presidency, Madras Assembly, in that way. So Rajya Sabha member B.V. Kakilaya through P. Sundaraya tried to persuade Andhra Pradesh MPs to completely merge the Kannada areas of Ballari district, Kollegala, Kolar, Chitradurga, and Tumkur districts into Karnataka. Communists in all parts of the state were actively involved in the unification struggles. In regard to forming provincial Kisan Sabha committees on the basis of language, the All India Kisan Sabha in 1942 itself had clearly stated, Mysore, I quote, Mysore as a large state is helpful to start separate provincial councils of farmers' union. People speaking the same language in the neighboring provinces can be divided into groups and can be added to form congregations, unquote. The Congress came to power in Mysore claiming that it would unify if it won the 1952 elections in its entirety. However, the All India Congress session in 1953 decided against the creation of linguistic provinces. This worsened the condition of the wound. In March 1953, Shankar Gowda of Adragunchi started fast unto death against this decision. On April 19, 1953, the Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee met in Hubli. More than 25,000 people protested at the meeting, demanding the resignation of the Congress leaders. Congress leaders who could not face these people used police or Golibar. Feeling the pressure of the people, KPCC decided that if the state is not formed before 1954, the Congress MLAs would resign. In this case, popularly called the Hubli riot case, N.K. Upadhyaya, A.J. Mudol, B.N. Darwadkar, Siddhappa Kammar, Mulla were among the 13 communist leaders who were arrested and jailed. An all-party conference was held on May 28, 1953 at Davanagere under the chairmanship of Alavandi Shivamurthy Swamiji in Sri Mahadevappa Murugodu Shitashram. To provide an organized forum for this struggle, Congress did not participate in it. Communist Party, PSP, that is Praja Socialist Party, and several independents participated in it and established Karnataka, Akila Karnataka Rajya Nirmana Parishad, that is Akarani. A large contingent of Communist Party, B.V. Kakilaya, M.S. Ramarao, S.B. Monnaya, N.K. Upadhyaya, M.S. Krishnan, M.C. Narasimhan, I. Maridas, and others led by N.L. Upadhyaya participated in it. B.V. Kakilaya of the Communist Party became the secretary of this Akila Karnataka Rajya Nirmana Parishad. The second conference of the Parishad was held on December 3, 1953 in Hampi under the presidency of K.R. Karan. Shivamurthy Swamiji presented his views on the areas to be included during the unification of Karnataka. B.V. Kakilaya presented the stance of the Communist Party. Among those, most of the Kannada majority villages in Kasargodu Taluk, most of the northern part of the Chandragiri River should be merged with Karnataka. Central administered region, Kodagu, should completely join Karnataka. Kakilaya told that the commission and Kakilaya told that the decision in Kannada, majority villages in Kasargodu Taluk, and most of the, I explained. He said, likewise, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Andhra Karnataka border should be decided. Apart from this, there were also other opinions in the Akarani Parishad. However, a committee comprising of Shivamurthy Swamiji, B.V. Kakilaya, and Ballari lawyer Satyavant Rao was formed to prepare an appeal to present the views of Akarani before the commission to be constituted. After spending several weeks studying in the residence of Shivamurthy Swamiji in Delhi, an appeal was prepared. The printed forms of appeal was prepared at the Communist Party's parliamentary office in Delhi. When Congress hesitated to form a linguistic state after the Congress won power in the first election after independence, the Communists repeatedly passed resolutions on this. Communists in the states of Andhra, Kerala, and Karnataka pressured the center through movements. It was decided to organize movements through the formation of Karnataka Organizing Committee under the leadership of S.V. Kate and N.L. Upadhyaya in Karnataka. Looking at the aggravation of people's movements for the formation of linguistic states, including the Hubballi incident, by-election results and communist activities, Nehru's central government appointed Fazl Ali Commission on December 29, 1953. The Akarani Council and Communist Party submitted their pleas separately. Communist Party was of the view that the entire Karwar district, the city of Belagaum and its water supply should remain in Karnataka. The most Kannada spoken languages should join Karnataka. The Marathi majority and the rural areas affiliated to Maharashtra should be added to Maharashtra. In the meantime, the different stances on consolidation within the state were a reflection of the conflicts of interests of capitalists and the zamindari classes of different regions. Against this backdrop, the Karnataka Regional Committee meeting of the Communist Party held in Madikeri on May 1955 took the following resolution. I quote, "It is evident from the recent events that the movements on unification of Karnataka are gaining strength. There is growing support for the Kannadigas' desire to unite Karnataka, which is being divided into 6 administrations into a single provincial administration. The formation of the whole Karnataka province is now inevitable. The Karnataka Committee of the Communist Party of India once again announces the demand for immediate creation of a whole Karnataka, including all areas of Karnataka. The Karnataka Committee of the Communist Party urges the people of Karnataka and their organization not to sit idle, anticipating the report of the State Reorganization Committee, but should strengthen the movement in order to achieve the formation of the Karnataka state. This is necessary for the political, social, and economic and cultural growth of Kannadigas. The Communist Party gives a call for the growth of strong and wide movement on the basis of the declaration that next elections are for the Karnataka Assembly." Unquote. Realizing the political potential disasters in the wake of the Congress' fluctuating stances, CPA also advocated the principles to be followed, especially when deciding the boundary lines. The principles that the CPA advocated, perhaps still relevant even today, were like this. I quote, "The village should be considered as a unit. It must be judged on the basis of a particular language spoken by the people in that village and the particular linguistic state the village is affiliated to. Regardless of how carefully the boundary line is identified, it is important to understand that the linguistic minorities remain in both sides of the border and also within each state. They should be guaranteed of the provision of primary and secondary education in their mother tongue. The question of whether to provide college education in their mother tongue, to what extent and under what practical conditions, it should be left to the decision of concerned states. Only then these frontiers would become centers of interdependence between the linguistic states and not the centers of disunity and conflict. There may be tribal areas when identifying boundaries. Tribal areas inhabited by a particular tribe must be linked to a particular linguistic state with which it shares its cultural and linguistic affiliation, as well as with the state with its economic development is more proximate and natural." Unquote. So these suggestions by CPI, it's an all India suggestion by the CPI. Here also Karnataka Provincial Committee put forwarded these suggestions. But no reorganization committee under different chairmanships did not consider these suggestions. They did not consider village as a unit for reorganizing the state, but it has considered taluk as an unit. Because of that, even today we are facing the border disputes in many parts of the country. The CPI called for intensifying movements for the formation of states based on these principles, without expending their energies on extreme small details. It called provincial committees to discuss and negotiate disputed territories based on the above principles, saying that once the state is formed, the issues can be settled on the basis of available census. People had to fight at every step against the Congress government for the unification of Karnataka. The Communist Party carried a principled struggle. The people's aspirations finally came together and Karnataka was unified on November 1, 1956. Now, after 6 decades of the formation of linguistic states, the demands for separate states are growing within the states. The development path chosen by India after independence are questioning the very idea of linguistic states. And also the attacks of globalization are weakening the democratic notion of linguistic states. The present scenario of weakening the democratic element of linguistic nationalism and strengthening the elements of market would make the Communist Party's role an important one in the future. The Communist Party needs to be prepared to accept the challenges that the contemporary system is undergoing with a serious dilapidation of the federal system based on linguistic nationalism. So I shall stop for today. The remaining part till 1964 I shall take up in the next session. Comrade Deepak, I shall stop here. Any questions I can take?
All right. Comrade. Yeah, use the chat box or can directly. So, comrade, in the meanwhile, while we are waiting for the questions, I will ask you one question. So,
Yes.
just because we were talking about reorganization of states on the linguistic basis and in the in unification of different provinces within Karnataka. I wanted to ask, were there any confusions within the movement as to where such regions should belong? Because
your voice is disrupted.
About,
Please repeat.
My connection. Okay, all right.
Yeah, please.
I wondered whether within whether there were any issues that were in the communist movement as to any particular areas of the state.
One second.
Hello. Yeah.
I am not hearing you properly. I don't know whether it is my problem or your problem.
Okay. What I will do is I will type down the question. Then yeah, comrade, I have typed my question in the chat box. That is the second question. The second comment. Sorry.
Whether there was any issues in the communist movement about where regions should be incorporated, such as the case of Comrade, as I said, of course, there were some problems in the Communist Party as far as what should be the stand should be taken as far as Belagaum and even in Kasaragod issue is concerned. But as a principal stand, as I already explained, here in Karnataka also, the Karnataka Provincial Committee of CPI, there was no confusion in the CPI. As a party, it took a principal stand on that. But what happened practically is in Belagaum, of course, some portion of the Belagaum issues I shall deal in the next session. Since most of the comrades who were in Communist Party in Belagaum were Marathis, since Communist Party has taken a stand that a village should be made a unit to be considered to merge with that particular language speaking state. But whereas the committees constituted by the central government, reorganization commission, they have taken a different stand, as I already said. They took Taluk as a unit. So in such a situation, most of the comrades who were in Communist Party then in Belagaum, since they were all Marathis, they were fighting for all Marathi speaking areas to be merged with the Maharashtra. Because of that, Communist Party almost got derailed, or its growth was completely hampered after the unification movement there. Their demands, CPI's leaders' demands were not met because village was not taken as a unit. And the problem remained because Kannada-speaking villages, many villages that remained in Maharashtra and many Marathi-speaking villages that remained in Karnataka. So because of that, some confusions and disturbances were also there in the Communist Party as far as in Belgaum is concerned, particularly in Belgaum district. So that problem still prevails in Belgaum district. Of course, the severity of the position that we had taken during unification movement, that role, that importance, that CPI or CPIM after split, that's not giving so much to it. And we are trying since whatever happened is happened. And now, if we now insist for village as a unit to be considered, then it will open Pandora's box. Not only in Belgaum, as far as Karnataka, Maharashtra boundary dispute is concerned, even it will open a Pandora's box in Kasaragod also, particularly in Manjeshwar.
Yeah.
So those problems are also there. But since unification, reorganization, everything was over, almost 6 decades is over, and we are not talking of that to be reopened now. So that is the situation now. But then that problem was prevailing in Belgaum district. As I said, most of them were Marathi-speaking comrades who were in CPI. So they faced a lot of problems there.
Okay. Thank you, comrade. So others, any questions? Any of the participants have any questions? Please unmute your mic and you can ask it directly, or you can comment your question, send it as a comment in the chat box. So nothing yet. So comrade, I have one more question.
Yeah. Yes, comrade.
Yeah.
VJK
Yeah.
that question. The role of CPI leaders from Maharashtra in creating Maharashtra Ekikarana Samiti had played a great role in Belgaum. One of the victims was BP Kadam, that is Ladam, it is BP Kadam, the MP from Uttara Kannada. Yes, comrade, that is true. Maharashtra Ekikarana Samiti had a direct link with the CPI leaders in Belgaum district, because as I had said, most of them were the Marathi-speaking comrades. So naturally, they were demanding that, including Belgaum and many of the villages, that should be joined to Maharashtra. That was their demand. After that, since Belgaum was remained in Karnataka, so the demand of these comrades and the state, Karnataka state, that became a problem. They stood in opposition. So because of that, the growth of the Communist Party was seriously hampered. That was one thing. One of the victims was BP Kadam from Uttara Kannada. It's a BP Kadam. So the story is, of course, I don't think he's the victim. Of course, he joined with that Maharashtra argument, Marathi argument. He was from Uttara Kannada district. But many comrades in Uttara Kannada, particularly in Karwar, the earlier communist leaders and their families, even today, accuse BP Kadam for the betrayal he has made to the Communist Party. He was earlier in the Communist Party, BP Kadam. Later he jumped and joined the opposition bandwagon. And he became something like anti-communist also. So because of that, comrades in Uttara Kannada, particularly in Karwar, they are seriously, they accuse BP Kadam. Of course, because of this linguistic problem, he might have the victim of the linguistic state reorganization issue. Okay. Can you speak a little bit about the headquarters of the Communist Party after the independence? Where was the party center located at the time of independence, and whether it changed later? Comrade, though different centers were there, after independence, after Karnataka Provincial Committee was formed, N.L. Upadhyaya was the secretary of the Provincial Committee. Though he was working from Bangalore, Mangalore, and some other area, but the headquarters were Mangalore. The headquarter basically was Mangalore. So then, after a long time, 3-4 decades after, the headquarters changed to Bangalore. So even after the unification of Karnataka, that's what earlier Mysore state, the name of Karnataka only came in 1973. In 1956, when Karnataka, Mysore state was formed, the headquarters was situated in Mangalore, and the secretary was B.N.L. Upadhyaya, and he used to work from Mangalore and also Bangalore also, because he was situated in Bangalore for quite a long time. He was also working from here, but the center was Mangalore.
Okay. Thank you, comrade. So we'll wait for more questions because we have got some more time. In the meanwhile, if any comrade wants to ask any particular question, you may do so by unmuting yourself. Comrade Chatterjee, Comrade BJK, if you have anything to speak, you may do so, because I saw Comrade Chatterjee like switching on the video. So.
Hello.
Yes,
at the time of independence or around the time of reorganization of states, did the Kaveri river dispute ever crop up?
That was not there, but different problems were there other than this. Particularly, southern Karnataka demand was created because of the emerging bourgeois class and the landlord class interests were there. So Mysore state was relatively advanced than the northern Karnataka or any other parts of Karnataka. So the caste Vakkaliga leaders of the Congress were very much interested in having a separate state for Vakkaliga region, that is southern Karnataka. And also a demand for Kodugu was also there. That such type of demands were there, but not as such a Kaveri dispute was very prominent then. But legally the dispute was there, but it was not forthcoming as a serious conflict then.
Yeah. Comrades, any more questions?
As far as this
Comrade,
issue is concerned,
yeah.
in the Mysore Assembly,
Yeah.
one thing
Yeah.
I want to add. So, this unification movement, so it is the only party which stood very firmly on a principle basis was CPI in Karnataka. Congress was very much fluctuating in its stance. Each and every time they used to take different stands. So one such stand, as I already said, was the demand for a separate southern Karnataka, South Karnataka. That was the stand. So, and another deviation that cropped up during this unification movement was a multilingual formation of multilingual states. Karnataka and Kerala together forming northern Kerala and southern Karnataka together forming a state like that. And other Karnataka, Andhra and Karnataka, that portion forming a separate state. Such type of arguments were also cropped up during this entire unification movement. But in every occasion, every situation, and every argument like this, CPA stood very firmly and said, no, nothing like that. It should be based on the language. So no Andhra Karnataka state, no Kerala Karnataka state, no Southern Karnataka state. It should be based on the language. All Kannada speaking people should get together. That was the stand, a principal stand taken by the CPI. And in fact, in Mysore Assembly, Kengal Hanumanthayya was in favor of, in his earlier version, he was in favor of a separate Southern Karnataka state. In 1952, CPI's first MLA, that is K.S. Vasan from KGF, he was representing KGF constituency in Mysore Assembly, Legislative Assembly. He stood and spoke in a determined way that this should not happen. He opposed Kengal Hanumanthayya's stand, that is KPCC stand in a way, that no Southern Karnataka should have a separate state. All Kannada speaking people should be formed the basis of Karnataka state. This was the stand of CPI, which was very much, very seriously spoken in the assembly by K.S. Vasan from KGF. He represented CPI, though he came from a predominantly Tamil-dominated constituency then. So that we can see the principal stand CPI took all along. But in this entire period, the Kaveri river dispute was not cropped up very seriously. Of course, some here and there that voices were there, the dispute was there legally. But as we could see these days, in such a fashion, it was not cropped up.
Comrades, the Kaveri dispute for the first time was taken up by the party only in 1973, prior to the expiry of the 1924 agreement for 50 years. 1924 agreement. That time, M.H. Krishnappa, EMS and P. Ramurthy together had issued a statement. That was the basic statement on which our party had been conducting ourselves on the Kaveri issue, which is of a later period, naturally. That came up only in 1973.
Yes.
Thank you. Comrades, any more comments or questions or clarifications?
I would like to give an example of Congress's reversal of stand. While demand was always for linguistic reorganization. In Bengal, they took a reversal. They wanted to unify Bihar and Bengal. You know, it was a terrible and absurd. It was a kind of agreement reached out between B.C. Roy and Sri Krishna Sinha. And this was led by the leftists, and it was called the anti-merger movement. And the test for that, people's opinion, was taken as one by-election in Calcutta in 1956, in which the Congress lost miserably. And after that, B.C. Roy agreed that yes, we should not move ahead with this merger of Bihar, which is multiple languages. They call it Bihar, they call it Hindi, but it is not Hindi. It is Maithili, Bhojpuri, and several other languages, tribal languages in today's Jharkhand. And even in Jharkhand, 40% is Bengali speaking. So this was a complete betrayal and reversal by unifying two states which have absolutely different languages. And there was a big movement. There was an all-party committee. The president of the committee was the famous physicist Meghnad Saha. And once this by-election was lost, that this program or the plan was shelved. That was in 1956.
Thank you, comrade, for that information. Yeah, I think there are no more questions. So shall we wind up, comrade? And then
Yes. Can wind up.
yeah. So thank you everyone for your time, and it was a very comprehensive session on what happened after independence, going through the various ways in which communist movement expanded, and touching upon the unification struggle for a unified Karnataka, led by the struggles led by CPI within the erstwhile different provinces and administrative units. So thank you, Comrade Prakash, for this class. And in the next session, we will be dealing with the developments after 1964, as Comrade Prakash said. Thank you, everyone, once again.
Not after 1964. Next session.
Along with the...
Till 1964.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. Fine. So we will have some more sessions, I guess.
No. I will finish it after 64.
We'll finish with two more. Okay, fine.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, comrade. So we'll end up today's session.
My special thanks to Prakash for smart and small session. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade. So yeah, we'll end the meeting now.
Yeah, Deepak.
Yeah, I'll end.
Yeah, I think the recording is going on. Maybe with Dilip, we can end, right?
I will stop the recording. And
okay, I'll end it. Okay.
Yeah. It's fine. I think I'll stop the meeting so that the live streaming will also. No, I think it has to be done by the host, that is admin.
I think it stopped. I think it is done. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay. Bye, everyone.